Well, today I'm in the Lake District and we're doing something called Wrynose Pass, which is one of, as I understand it, the most difficult roads in the UK. It's basically a mountain pass road, which is very high, very steep, and the road is very crumbly. So hopefully we won't die, and it'll be a good road. And I thought, just to make things a little bit more spicy, I'm going to try and do a speed review of the modifications that I've made to the bike while trying to ride this quite complicated and time-sapping route. So we'll see how that goes. The combination might be a bad one, but hopefully at the very least, if not informative, it might be somewhat entertaining. So let's see how we go. Okay, so speed review. So I'm going to start at the front of the bike and work backwards. I'm going to try and review each piece in less than 20 seconds. So, see how we go. So first thing is headlight, LED headlight from Amazon. It was a cheap Daymaker. Absolutely love it. It was easy to install, although it was a bit of a tight fit, but the quality of the light beam is great. I would give that a solid 9 out of 10. Next up is the Rsd Chrome Bezel. It's the tracker variety. It's normally £260. I got it in the sale for, I think, £60. I like it, and I think it adds to the style of the bike and what I was looking to go for, but I would never have paid full price for it. So on the basis of £60, I'd say it's a 7 out of 10. Quite simple to do. The only downside is that it doesn't give a perfect seal on the stock headlight cover, which means that it does let a bit of water in and makes the electrics go wild. Okay, next up is I've got the Colt Werks Dragbars. These were about, oh god, how much were they? I think they were 80 quid. Love them. They changed the stance of the bike in a really positive way without kind of killing your back. It changes the look of the bike in the way that I wanted it to, and they were pretty easy to install and they seem good quality. So I would give these a 9 out of 10. Next up is the, whoa, I've got the Motogadget grips, solid aluminium. They're expensive. They were, I think they, oh god, they were 100 quid. And I really like them because they're not made of rubber. They're quite unusual. They're really nice quality, and I like the design. And of course you can fit the bar and indicators to them. So the grips, I would say, are a 8 out of 10. Love it if they're a bit cheaper. Oh my god. So bar end indicators, I love the concept of the bar end indicators, and I think that they look great. They're a pain in the arse to install, and the wires are very thin on them, so you know, I've had to do a repair video where I've broken them off and they have a tendency of rattling loose. I would give them a 7 out of 10. I think they do look awesome though. It's just the fiddliness, and they're really expensive. They're like 160 quid for the pair. Right, okay, moving on backwards. Next up, I've got the tank. So the tank, I changed up from the standard 2.1 to a 3.3. It's a custom chrome. Tank was cheap, 160 quid, but it was expensive to have painted and prepped. It was, I think, £300 to get the paint job, and apparently there was like 2 hours worth of sanding and prep going into it before they could even paint it. However, it positives, it changes the look of the bike in a really positive way. It's practical, and it's quite surprisingly cuts down on the wind resistance. So on a lot of fronts, it's a really useful modification. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. I think the only thing I would have changed, whoa, bit of slippage, is, oh god, severe bends. The only thing that I would change up is I'd probably paint it myself, or prep it myself at the very least to cut down on the painting cost. Okay, next up is I'll probably do the exhaust. So I've got the Magnaflow Arlen Ness Lowdown exhaust pipes. These are I love them because they're different to what a lot of other people have got, but I can't overlook the fact that from a practicality point of view, everything falls off them, the end cap always falls off, and the main bit is they are so low that I keep dragging them on the ground when I corner, and that's a real issue for me, and in hindsight I probably wouldn't have bought them. So on cost and uniqueness, I think they were 350 quid. I'll give them an 8, but the practicality piece pulls them down, I'd say, to a 5. Then I've got on the exhaust, I've got the Design Engineering titanium wrap. It's very expensive at 100 quid a roll to do the two pipes. Looks really nice. It's got a nice kind of sheen. It's the original one. It does make the exhaust and the engine very hot though, so that's steep. On that basis, I would say I would give the wrap, oh god, 7 out of 10, I guess. Oh my days. Oh no, this is so steep. Okay, I can't even think what's next. What's next on the bike? I think, oh, the seat. Okay, the seat. So I've got a Mother Road Custom Bobber Bates leather seat. It was £360, including oh god, so bumpy, including the mounting bracket. Oh my god. And I would give the seat, I love it because it's made of leather, unlike, you know, the Lepera standard ones that are leatherette, but it's and it's quite unusual in its design. There were some quality aspects that let it down a little bit, like the glue on the felt at the bottom, and the mounting kit was 150 quid, and that was a load of rubbish. It literally was just a metal mount. So I'd give the seat a 7 out of 10, probably an 8 if I could get, if I didn't buy the mounting kit with it. This is really hard work. Okay, oh, we're pulling in, thank the Lord. Okay, and we're off again. So the next, working back from the seat, I guess is going to be the suspension, which I went with the, I'm pretty sure it was the, I think it was the 10.5 inch, it might have been the 11, I think it was the 10.5 inch Progressives 412s, I think. They were quite, as suspension goes, relatively cheap. I think it was 180 quid. Wow, that's a nice view. The suspension was shorter, so it lowers the stance of the bike and gives it more of a bobber look that I wanted. But on the flip side, it's so hard, as you can probably tell from this video. It's probably similar to stock, but a little bit shorter. I'd say a 6 out of 10, but it's worth it just because they're black and they look good. Okay, I think we're pulling in. Oh, I need to change the battery in this camera. God, I feel slightly... Oh wow, what a view. Okay, back on it. Okay, suspension done. So next is the Motogadget ice indicators that I've put on the back. I think these are probably my favourite set of indicators because the design is phenomenal, they're unusual, and they're a piece of cake to fit. And they weren't too expensive. I think they were £90 for the pair. So I'm going to say for these, so these are a 9 out of 10. Oh, God. Oh. Okay, and then the final piece. No, not quite the final piece. Oh, shit. Front wheel's locked. So then I've got the rear brake light, which was an eBay special. Only £12, and I like the design of it. I think the problem with it is it needed a little bit of silicone to seal the electrics, but that wasn't too big a deal. And it's probably its biggest downside is it isn't very bright when you're braking. So from a safety point of view, it isn't the best. And I think secondly, the angle at which you can see the light, you have to, if you're on top of it, like say in a lorry and quite close, it wouldn't be particularly strong. But I'd give it a 9 out of 10 just for value, and the design of it looks pretty cool. And then I think the final bit is the Werks side plate holder, which was I think it's £240. Which is expensive for a side plate, but it's solid metal. The quality of it is very high. It's got a built-in light and reflector, which are legal requirements, so it's covered on those fronts, and it's a nice size. But mainly I liked it because I could tuck it right into the side of the bike. So as usual, quality was good but cost was high, but you get what you pay for. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 for what I wanted to do. So guys, I hope you found that useful, and if not useful, perhaps enjoy the views. I'm going to ride the rest of this road now with a little bit more concentration, which I think is needed, and I'll keep the camera rolling and give you some footage. So if you didn't like it, as usual, hit the thumbs down button and let me know why, and I'll try and make things better. But if you did like it, give us a thumbs up. And hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos in the future.